Hello, my name is E.C. Walker and I'm with House 2. Today we are introducing the Chapter 12 semester project assignment. The team members we have involved are myself, Scarlett DeJesus, Kyle O'Donnell, and Sarah Lowney. The topics that we'll discuss today are that of system development, specifically the definition of system development, the guidelines, and the different phases of system development. We'll also discuss the importance of project management, feasibility assessment, and information gathering techniques. We'll discuss low-level, procedural, and programming languages, as well as application development tools. And then finally, we'll talk about web page development. So the definition of system development is a set of activities used to build an information system. So essentially, this is just whatever it is that it took to make the system, to build the system. There's 3 different guidelines to system development. The first one being grouping activities into phases. You know that most of the time these activities, or a lot of times these activities have similar tasks. So just making sure that all those tasks are all grouped together and that you're not working on similar tasks spread out throughout the project. It's better just to have them all together. The next thing is involve users, the people that will actually be using the system. Make sure that they have a voice in the process. Oftentimes, whenever you do that, you come up with really great, innovative, new ideas that maybe the IT guys weren't thinking about. And then finally, define the standards. So this is just setting the rules to make sure that you're getting positive results, the results that you're looking for. So there are 5 phases to system development. The first phase is planning, then analysis, then design, implementation, and then support and security. In addition to these 5 phases, though, there are also other ongoing activities throughout the entire project. Several of those are project management, feasibility assessment, so making sure that the thoughts, the data that you had in the very beginning still aligns with all of the thinking that everybody has throughout the project. Is it still feasible to do things the way that you're planning on doing them, setting up the system the way that you were planning on setting it up? Make sure that that's still feasible. Document the entire process. Every decision that's made, document every decision so that you know in the future, and so that everybody else knows exactly what's going on throughout the project. Some issues that you can run into if you don't document every step of the way of the project is what happens whenever somebody leaves. If it's not documented, they leave with that data in their head, and then you have to start all over. And then data and information gathering. That's just making sure that everybody has the most up-to-date information throughout the scope of the project. So the first phase is planning. This is where you would review and prioritize the project requests. So make sure that you've got the most critical things, the things that are going to take the most time. Make sure that you have those addressed and you prioritize those above maybe the ones that won't take as long and that are a lower priority. Make sure that you allocate your resources appropriately. If you have deadlines to the project, especially very aggressive deadlines, it's very, very important that you allocate enough resources, you have enough headcount, enough people to be able to finish the project successfully on time. And then the next thing is form the project development team. So this typically consists of users of the system itself, analysts, as well as IT professionals. The next phase is the analysis phase. This is typically conducted by what's called a system analyst, also known as a system developer. This is where you would conduct a preliminary investigation. You would perform any detailed analysis activities. This is, again, typically where that system analyst will go in and really do a deep dive and figure out exactly what the expectations are, what the issues are, what the outcomes will be. They're going to study the current system, they're going to determine the user requirements, and then ultimately they're going to recommend a solution. So the next phase is the design phase. This is where you would acquire the hardware and the software if it's necessary. It may be that you're developing a lot of the software yourself, and that there may not be a lot of software needed, but you may have hardware that's needed, or vice versa. Some of the leading hardware manufacturers out there, among the top 5, 10 in the world, are Dell and HP. I'm sure that most of you are very familiar with both of those names. And then software, among the top 5 to 10 again, is Adobe and Microsoft. Now Microsoft also manufactures hardware, but they are, again, among the leading software companies in the world as well. The next phase is the implementation phase. This is where you would actually develop any programs and apps if necessary. So again, if you're developing the system, a brand new system, and you have to do all that coding, this is where you would actually go in and do that. This is where you would install and test the new system. This is also where you would train the users, any of the users on the new system. And then finally, this is where you would convert over to the new system. Now, a lot of times companies refer to this particular stage as go live. This is where they decide, all right, we're going to flip the switch. We are going to start using the new system. We understand that there may be bugs still with the system. It's not 100%. A lot of companies, a lot of times, this is an acceptable practice, even though you know that the software or the hardware doesn't function 100%. It's still at an acceptable level by the project team, by the members involved, to where you're going to go ahead and you're going to essentially flip the switch and start using the new system. The final stage is the support and security phase. This is where you would perform any maintenance activities. So this is what I was just referencing with the little bugs in the system that can come up. You would monitor the system performance, make sure that it's not too slow, make sure that it's performing at the level that you are expecting. And then this is where you would also assess the system security. So this is where you would determine, okay, does everybody have the appropriate user rights? Do we have the backup databases that we need to make sure that we can still get all of our data if there's any kind of a breach? Make sure that we address any of those issues, like what is the potential for the breach, and add in extra security if it's found that it's needed. So I'm going to pass this along to Scarlett next, and take care.